Tucker Carlson has his interview with Kanye. So we're just gonna go into it. We're gonna watch it, give some reactions, some perspectives, and kind of see if Kanye has a point, and if he doesn't, we'll call him out on it. I know there's a lot of people that are extremely liberal, extremely conservative. I lean liberal, but I'm pretty moderate, and if someone makes sense, they make sense. So let's just see if he has some kind of points to prove with it, or if it is on some fuck Kanye shit. So I'm talking too much already. This is a long video. Let's go.
Talking to Tucker Carlson tonight, Kanye West, now known as Ye, is one of the best-selling musical artists in the world. He's also in recent years become a celebrated and very highly paid fashion designer. And of course, for a decade, he was well known to TV audiences as an in-law of the Kardashian family. But it's West's latest incarnation as a kind of Christian evangelist that brought us to his office in Los Angeles today for the interview you're about to see. Days ago, during Fashion Week in Paris.
Shit's kind of hard. They need to show the front though, because the back looked crazy, but with the front pairing with it, shit was low-key tough. Damn, Candace Owens ain't got no ass either, but it's the wrong video.
Accompanied by his friend Candace Owens, unveiled a T-shirt that read simply "White Lives Matter." The response from the fashion industry.
I don't want to hear this nigga talk for this long. I just kind of want to get to the interview. So we're gonna move there, and looks like that's where it starts. Let's go.
The lanyard's still on from it, and there's a photograph on it. What is that?
It's a photograph of a baby's ultrasound.
Why is that? And then you designed that.
Yes.
Why? What does that mean?
It just represents life and pro-life.
Yo,
What's
Kanye
the
beard
word
kind of
on
fucked
that?
up.
What kind of response do you get? And I agree.
I don't care about people's responses. I care about the fact that there's more black babies being aborted than born in New York City at this point. That 50% of black death in America is abortion. So I really don't care about people's responses. I perform for an audience of one.
Is that true? Is that true? That's a fucked up.
I'm starting to see why they want to make you be quiet.
Why are you laughing, Tucker?
When did you start to feel this way? When did you start to realize this?
I really felt like, I think I started to really feel this need to express myself on another level when Trump was running for office and I liked him.
Yes.
And every single person in Hollywood, from my ex-wife to my mother-in-law to my manager at that time to, you know, my so-called friends slash handlers around me, told me, like, if I said that I like Trump, that my career would be over, that my life would be over. They said stuff like people get killed for wearing a hat like that. They threatened my life. They put my life. They basically said that I would be killed for wearing the hat. I had someone call me last night and said anybody wearing a White Lives Matter shirt is going to be greenlit, and that means that they're going to beat them up if they wear it. And I'm like,
See, that's why I can't wear this shit, because I knew I'll be in a pack, in a WLM pack. Shirt's hard, though. I stand by that, regardless of the connotation. It's kind of hard. But, yeah, that is things that happen when you support certain people or you wear certain things. Even though you're not wearing it with hate or supporting with hate, people just automatically have that zero tolerance policy now, which I don't really like. I mean, I wasn't the biggest fan of Trump, but I didn't hate everything he did. I thought some of the press conferences are entertaining. I think some of the ways he stood up to foreign governments and would have conversations with places was kind of interesting. I'm not as well versed as I should be within everything that he's done. I don't hate him. He's not my best favorite person ever, but I don't believe in those if you do this, never talk to me again. I don't believe in that many absolutes. There's a few absolutes with very heinous things, but there's a few and far between. But I feel as though with our political spectrum now, we're so polarized that if you're on the other side now, it's like, stay over there. I don't even want to hear what you have to say about any traditional values or anything about government or anything about economics. It's completely, it's a bridge now. It's not a line. It's a bridge between each other. It's a fence between, it's everything.
because of me being born in Atlanta and growing up on the south side of Chicago that, you know, he made me for such a time like this. It's like with David, you know, he tended to the sheep, but while he was out there, he had to fight all kinds of animals. So when it was time for Goliath to come, he thought because he was a sheep herder that he didn't have the skill set to take down Goliath. And the thing that I have is the position, I have my heart, but the number one thing is we have God on our side. And for the people, even if you don't believe in God, God believes in you.
So you made reference to the White Lives Matter T-shirt, which you brought out at Paris Fashion Week.
Yeah.
Why did you do that, and what did it mean?
You know, I do certain things from a feeling. I just channel the energy. It just feels right. It's using a gut instinct, a connection with God, and just brilliance. You know, like as if you ask like Tanya Harding how she did the triple flip or the triple spin. Yeah. She was in so much practice that when it was time for her to skate in a competitive format, it just happened. Like it happened outside of practice. It happened in the real format, and that's what's happening. Is God is like preparing us for the real battles, and we are in a battle with the media. Like,
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what this nigga's talking about right now, and I'm trying to follow along and really dissect kind of messaging behind it. But I think the thing that gets Kanye misconstrued in a way is that his brain is moving in so many different parts and so artistic and multi-layered that communicating it isn't always so cohesive. It's like those people that you want them to tell you a story and they're like, long story short, and they say the shit for an extra 30 minutes and you really just get lost in different subplots. That's Kanye pretty much. Kanye is The Walking Dead seasons 4 through 10, where it's like, what the fuck is going on? But like, you know, it was great from the start, and you know the whole series as a whole is great, but there's just a lot of cobwebs and things to kind of sort through to get to that end point that sometimes feels overdue. It's just sometimes his messaging is just could be more succinct. I mean, I have that same issue too. I should probably stop talking now, but sometimes you just ramble on and there's no end point as he goes. He has so many things he wants to get through with so little time that it deviates a lot.
Majority of the media has a godless agenda, and the jokes in that work and this whole like, oh yeah, he's crazy and all these things, they don't work because the media has, you know, they've also watched travesties happen, just even specifically to me, and just watch it and act like it wasn't happening, and they stayed quiet about it.
What are they?
I want to answer the white. Yeah. I feel like someone caught what I was saying, the comparison to Tanya Harding about the White Lives Matter. You know, my dad is an educated ex-Black Panther, and he put a text to me today, said White Lives Matter, ha 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 ha. And I said, I thought the shirt was a funny shirt. I thought the idea of me wearing it was funny.
It is funny.
I said,
it is funny.
You think it was funny? He said,
see, he is a troll.
Just a Black man stating the obvious.
Before you renew Amazon Prime, watch this. Look, I love Amazon Prime. Free 2-day shipping is...
I had to skip through that fucking ad. Alright, let's go again.
And, you know, my dad doesn't listen to rap music, and he's, like, super educated. We opened up a water distribution center in the Dominican Republic together. He's like the original Steve Jobs, but he was getting blocked every which way with all of his ideas, and he didn't have an endless bank account, and he didn't have.
So it sounds like.
So all these ideas he had.
He was just wearing it because it was.
Oh
shit! If that's what he means, hopefully it gets to that. But if he's just saying, you're just stating the obvious, which could be like, oh, White Lives Matter, which means you're just shouting out to the rooftop that they've always mattered in this country, and it's not necessarily something offensive to say because that's how the state of our nature is. Like, instead of saying Black Lives Matters as a movement to make Black Lives Matter more. He's just wearing a shirt that says what it is. In a sense. I think I got that. Like if I wore a shirt that just said big black nigga on it, would that be offensive or if it was like Snow Bunny Killer on it? Like would that be offensive if it is true, if it's black and white? It is what it is. Or wearing a Corona shirt that says Corona on it for like the beers, not the actual you know what. So I think that's what he's trying to say, that like he's just stating the obvious. So, like what does it matter if he's stating the obvious? That's an interesting point.
That is the most brilliant person that I know, and we actually have a strained relationship because I was taken from him. Because my mom was an actress, so she was a liberal, and my dad would see certain things and say, you know, we should do it this way, we should do it that way, and the people got around my mom and pulled her away. Much like, you know, Kim is a Christian, but she has people who want her to go to Interview magazine and put her ass out while she's a 40-something-year-old multi-billionaire with 4 black children. And this is how fashion wants to, how they want to present her. So I know you give these questions and I give you like these 3-part answers. Is this a cool format for you?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, cool.
And I am following it.
See, it's kind of what I said.
So you
His
said,
brain goes so many different ways that people can
father
get
said when he
lost
saw the shirt, White Lives
because
Matter, it's
he's
great
trying to
see a
get
black
to
man
so many
speaking out
points,
this.
multi-layered points.
By which I think you meant that's obviously true.
Yeah, that's my favorite response because I kept on thinking like, you know, people, they're looking for an explanation, and people say, well, as an artist, you don't have to give an explanation, but as a leader, you do.
Yes, I think that's right.
So the answer to why I wrote White Lives Matter on a shirt is because they do. It's the obvious thing.
Yeah. Why do you think that's so? And I assume the implication is, of course, all lives matter because they're lives, because God created them.
Yeah.
Why do you think that would be considered controversial?
Because the same people that have stripped us of our identity and labeled us as a color have told us what it means to be black. And the vernacular that we're supposed to have.
Yo, that shirt kind of hard too. And I think I might have been deeper than Kanye meant when it says white lives do. I think that's what his dad was getting to. Like, oh, white lives, of course, they do matter. So why does it matter? I think he's getting to a different point with it. I don't know if Tucker switched it up by saying the white lives matter and all lives matter. Like, of course, like everyone's life should matter regardless. Doesn't necessarily sound so far like Kanye's disparaging Black Lives Matter movement. He's just kind of being that extremist headline grabbing approach to it so that you understand like, oh shit, he's wearing this shirt, and immediately you're going to have some type of emotive reaction which gets your eyes and you're listening, and whether you actually listen to see what he means by it or you just get outraged and you really push harder to support BLM or whatever movement, that might be an effective strategy because it is opening up the dialogue again at the very least. I mean, I've seen more White Lives Matter shirts than I have seen Black Lives Matter shirts in the last probably 3 months, and he's the only one that wore it, him and Candace. Makes you think.
My dad grew up as a military brat, and his family moved around, but they were based mostly in Delaware.
Hey.
At the time, if they weren't the only black family, they were one of the few, and he would be discriminated against because he was black. So by the time he got into college, he would be discriminated against. He went to a black college, he would be discriminated against because he said he talked too white. And then he played the kick drum in the band. So when he would go to the club and the music was playing, where would he clap his hands? Where the kick drum is. It was the opposite of where everyone else was clapping their hands. This is the most elegant and tasteful person that I know. And when my mom, when the school suggested, or like the herding systems, because what they do is take the black community and they separate us, and they separate the families, and the educated, they push this, need for higher education, and us as blacks, we discriminate against each other and say, well, I got my PhD and you don't have your PhD, so I'm better than you. And so my mom,
listen, I don't know what the fuck he's saying really, but I'm trying to push through it, and I'm trying to be very like impartial, or just think about it from his point of view, or just in general. I'm just trying to get a comprehension of it, because that's what I want these to be about. When I react to something, I don't want to just react with that blind rage. And I'm trying to see what he meant by that point, because everything got messaging. I love messaging, and I could say some shit, and I probably will say shit at a point that will cause you to kind of question the statement. But sometimes you just say that extreme thing so that people to listen and break it down. But I'm not really understanding right now if he's breaking it down. So I think it's just making people more confused. I don't know. I'm trying to power through it.
And she was influenced to move to the south side of Chicago, take this job at Chicago State University. And she told my dad, if you come for us, you'll never see him again. Because, the media ridiculed me for getting the house next door to Kim to see my children. And they even said that I was stalking her and her new boyfriend because I bought the house next door.
That nigga was posting a lot.
My children. And that's how I knew that my mom had said that to him. I said, Dad, they moved us to one of the most agreed upon to be one of the most dangerous places in the world. It's almost like they tried to kill me or something. I said, Dad, why did you never come to get us? And that's when he told me that she was told that. There's so many things that are put in Kim's head. They bring influencers. Like, no one ever knew where Corey Gamble came from. No one in the fashion world knows where Gabby came from. These people were practically made in a laboratory, in my opinion. And one of the things that they're really good at doing is being nice and being likable. And what they do is, for people that have some form of influence.
I thought this nigga was about to give some great grand message about shit. It sounds like he just wants to go back into his own personal things. Yeah, Kanye's mind is everywhere. I have no idea what he's really talking about. Kanye, you my nigga. I have no idea what you're trying to really elocute here. Because you go into the Kim, and I understand you talk about, like, they try to beat you down for wanting to be a good father, or you can kind of see parallels in your own life between your dad and your mother. And there's a lot of things in his own personal turmoil that he's dealing with, too. I thought it was just the shirt was going to be a much grander message about some type of movement and how we're going to fall off and we don't support each other and we need to push harder, and BLM was spending money to buy mansions, and I thought it was going to be some shit like that, or some other type of creative shit about White Lives Matter because they know how to support each other in these communities, or they don't kill each other. I don't know what I expected him to say, but I did not expect him to go on a personal diatribe. Oh, that was a fucking hard-ass word, too. A personal diatribe about his family. So I'm trying to follow it, but I'm not really understanding what he's meaning. Now he's getting into a Kim thing. So I'm just going to finish this shit, and we're going to just move on.
Whether it's an educated black woman like my mother that became the head of the English department at Chicago State University, or whether it's the most influential...
I know Tucker, like, yo, what is this man talking about? I just want to know what you meant by that shirt, my guy, and where can I buy one? That's what I'm thinking.
Telling them what to be afraid of. It's like not what to do or say specifically, it's what to be afraid of. And if you have a person that isn't afraid of them, like a Russell Brand or Candace Owens, or It's not that we have to agree
Right.
with this, but
They're not afraid.
they're not afraid to state what their opinion is.
Yes.
No one is God, and everyone has an opinion.
Okay.
So,
All right, that seems to be it about the Kanye thing. I guess part of it wants to talk about just free expression. What I got from it, he was kind of trolling, but he also white lives do matter. So why are you mad at me for stating what a fact is? So that's like someone saying girls with fat asses are attractive, because it is. It might be brash in its nature when you read it, but it's the truth of the matter, I guess. So I don't know. I think I'm getting deeper into it than really what Kanye is. It sounds like he was just trolling and wanted to push a message and get some attention for the show. So that's kind of why he wore it. And there wasn't some deeper meaning. It seemed like a little bit more off the cuff than anything. So maybe Candace Owen will react to it as well, and we can react to that and kind of see her perspective on it, because she's a little more versed in social situations and explaining situations. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm in a daze now, but there's the video. What are your thoughts about it? Do you hate that shit? Are you like, yo, Kanye, how the fuck could you? Or are you just like, okay, he has a message to it, and he's trying to say, man, fuck the other side if you're not really going to do something. I want to know what you think. Leave some comments below. Let's have a conversation and dialogue. That's what this channel is about. Let's have conversations about things. And let's not just jump to conclusions. Let's hear different sides and not immediately want to like circle jerk. This is not a sports team. That's my last part of it. This is not a sports team when I'm watching these videos. I'm not going to just hop on one side of if the left or the right. I don't even like those terms that much. Say some dumb shit, I'm going to be like, oh, that's kind of dumb. But if they say some shit that kind of is fire, regardless of the side it is, I'm going to say it's fire. Not everyone's, I don't think many people are 100% evil, so I'm not going to treat it like that, absolute. But that's the video. Let me know what you think. I'm going to go defrost my brain right now. But until next time, stay sexy.